What's amazing is that you're still talking.
Yeah.
Really, it's like a crime like that, it's really a crime.
Hi, everybody. Brendan, but he's gonna be late.
Yeah. All right, are we on?
Yeah, we're
Yep.
good.
All right, let's get started. So we're tonight's caucus. I'll call it to order at 7:01. All council members are here except for Alderman Scott Childress. And everybody have their list? Yes? Yes. Okay. All right, so got a lot of resolutions here tonight, and so if you don't mind if I just kind of change some things around. We are going to go through our resolution list, and then we are going to, what number was that? I can't remember what number the resolution was. I'm talking about the regulatory agreement.
Yeah, it's
We're gonna save that to last.
58.
58, right, 58. Okay, most of these have come out of finance. Rennie's not here. Normally I just let someone from finance, Rennie, take it. Whoever wants to, feel free, or I can run through them. But those that are the finance, you have the information for it, so anyone
I don't
wants
think
to,
there was any major,
no, a lot of transfers.
I mean, you guys remember anything?
Based on my review of this, it all looks pretty innocuous and straightforward.
I think the only really large things were the, like ARPA, MOAs.
Yeah,
Okay,
Which is just,
yeah, but the first page should be just, that's just budget transfers, so.
all right, do we want to run through them like we normally do? Transfer, resolution, let's get 32 out the way. That came out of, oh, that is finance, okay.
yeah, finance,
32,
there's no,
adopting the procurement policy as amended.
yeah, there was no cost on that.
Okay. 33, approving the transfer, 18,842.28, fire department, for transfer of grants funds for mental health and the time sheets. That's pretty standard.
Yeah. Maybe a little gap there. Damn.
Yeah, the chief came to speak about that one.
Okay,
Yeah, there was zero financial impact on that one as well.
awesome. Resolution 34, approving the transfer of 157,417 in the police department to cover the expense of retirement accumulation.
Correct. That did have a impact that was 78,417, which I believe was half the amount because they already allotted for one of the retirements.
Okay. Okay, everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay, resolution 35, approving the transfer of 5,950.55 in the building safety department to cover the expense of retirement accumulation.
That was zero financial impact.
Resolution 36, approving the transfer of 15,345 in the Parks and Rec department to reconcile accounts. Somebody standard.
Yep, zero financial impact as well.
Resolution number 37, approving a 2022 year-end transfer of $50,001 in the Works Department to cover shortfalls.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, this one is 37.
That is 37.
Yeah, so 37 shows no financial impact, but they're on the committee report, the money is different. It's $50,011. This says $50,001.
Oh, so which one is
That
it?
should be fine, it would be the resolution.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
it's
the resolution
No,
is
$50,000.
if this is not official, so
Yeah.
we're okay. As long as the resolution is, that's
So-
where.
So it'd be
Yeah.
$50,011.
Yeah.
All right, 38, resolution 38, approving a 2023 transfer of $32,172 in the Department of Public Works into operating accounts and to cover the cost of a retirement payout.
That one did have a financial impact, and it was the full amount of 32,172.
Resolution 39, approving a 2022 transfer of $1,087,000 to reconcile general fund employee benefit accounts and replenish the 2022 general fund contingency budget.
Hold on.
That one's 39.
Yeah, 541,337, but it says plus ahead of it, so.
Yeah, because
Maybe just
we're
replenish,
putting
yeah, so
more
we're putting money
into-
back into, the general fund.
So that's positive?
Yeah,
Anybody
Okay.
have a problem with accepting money?
Okay, resolution number 40, approving the transfer of $14,925.11 in the grants management department for the lead service line replacement program.
that one had zero financial impact as well. So it's good.
Resolution 41, approving a transfer of $564,252.37 in the grants management department for the DRI Stockade Business District Small Grants Program.
Yeah, this was just giving it out. There was no local match on this one, so again, zero impact.
Resolution 42, approving a 2022 transfer of $113,783 to reconcile sewer fund employee benefit accounts.
So 33,415 of that is positive again, because they were transferring the money from the one fund to the other. So we're plus again.
Resolution 43, to approve and implement an opt-out community distributed generation CDG program in New York. That came out of laws and rules, and that had to do with the solar program, where, because the city of Kingston residents could automatically be initiated into the solar panel program. Okay, Julie Noble talked to us about that. Okay.
Well, so I didn't really get a chance because it got kind of rushed through. I did vote no on this one. I spoke to a couple people in Saugerties about this, and I spoke to a friend of mine who works for Central Hudson, and all of them were not in favor with this because it's basically forced compliance, and then at the very end, it's like, oh, if you wish to opt out, simply do this, which 95% of the people had no idea what it was about. And the savings that they got never amounted to anything as to what they were quoted as getting. So, like I said, I spoke to a couple of the political people in Saugerties, and they were all against it. And as I said before, my friend works for Central Hudson, and he even stated that, there's a lot of issues with these programs, and especially the fact that everyone is automatically opted in, and then you have to send a letter saying you're opting out, and a lot of the times they either said they never received the letter, or the process just was not as smooth as it sounded. So, me personally, I would like to get more information on this before we push this through, especially because I always have an issue with forced compliance.
So more information as far as making sure that.
Yeah, let's show us the
Residents
real numbers, and, maybe, I can give the contact information out afterward if someone wanted to reach out to some of the officials in Saugerties and talk to them about how they had the program, because they did implement it, and then they not immediately, but they shortly afterward got rid of the program because it was not beneficial at all.
So would you like to send this back to committee? Is that what you're?
I would, yeah, again, forced compliance.
But you're forcing us to comply with your desires.
I'm just simply stating my position.
Requesting to put a hold on.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything that is in a rush or anything like that, so I'm fine with that.
Oh, I see, I'll look to you for making.
Who talked to you?
Julie,
That was Julie.
And then we'll do the homework and get us some information before.
But I'd also just note that it's possible that we can tweak the program to address some of these issues that you raised, like maybe make opt out at the first line, and the things you might be able to do to make it a viable
Sure.
It's gonna make a difference, not.
Or, and at least make sure that, folk are aware what they have to do in order to, should they wish to opt out.
Yeah.
So maybe that language should be a little bit bigger instead of
It
the little
seems
fine
like,
language.
it seems like an implementation issue that you're raising on concept.
Mhm.
Anyway, we'll see.
So somebody will second that motion?
We have lots of rules.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll second that. Okay. All right. Resolution number 45.
We didn't do 44.
We didn't do 44? Oh, sorry. Requesting a 2022 transfer in the housing department in the amount of $297,000 to fund the zombie property project funded by the LISC grant and city rehabilitation project funded by New York State Restored Grants. I think that's finance, yeah.
Let's see.
Well, shouldn't, because that was a grant, it was a grant, right?
Because 44 on here is, removing handicap parking.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, public safety.
this one
That's
would
a
be, if
45,
it's a
right?
New York State Restored Grant, that would be from
Read from what?
her department.
How does it
I don't remember her coming.
Oh, 44 on, yeah, you're right, on our actual,
Yeah, 44 on our legislation list.
as a handicap parking,
The one
Or
I'm
yes.
looking at is the updated one at the end.
the updated list.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be on there. I don't see it as, oh wait, yeah, two budget transfer grants from grants, and one was the DRI small grant fund, and one was the lead service line replacement program. So
So this one shouldn't be
I
there.
didn't put it on the agenda, so it shouldn't. I think this is an old one. Hey, Elisa, are you there?
Yes, I am.
It's
Resolution 44 on our legislation list, I think that's an old one. Can you confirm that?
Yep, give me 1 second.
Thank you.
yeah, it says 2022.
Yeah, 2022 transfer.
Resolution 42. Transfer, okay.
Oh, is this the one from John Schulteis? Because there was a couple, like,
Well, there was one that's gonna take a bond, right?
Well, that's, wait, that's not effective?
okay, his was the D Stadium. That was removed. One time it was so long ago.
We're gonna keep going all the way.
While she's, I was gonna say, while she's checking that, I'll do the next three are out of public safety.
Very simple,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
No parking, no handicap, handicap.
Okay, so
That's very
that was
helpful.
on our list, and legislation list, that's 45, 46, and 47. Okay.
A very random no parking sign on Emmerich Street.
Yeah.
On resolution number 48, approving the 2024 transfer of $69,856 in the Department of Public Works to transfer funds from insurance recovery into operating accounts.
Zero financial impact.
Awesome. Resolution 49, correcting resolution 7 of 2023, the approval of the 2022 transfer in the corporation's council budget. It should also be zero, yes, zero impact.
Which one is this?
49.
49. 69,856.
Yeah.
Zero financial impact.
For computer.
All right, resolution 50 of 2023, that's accepting a draft generic environmental statement as complete for the Kingston Forward citywide rezoning, scheduling notifications and public hearing session and public input schedule as part of the State Environmental Quality Review Act. This was out of laws and rules. And this is, Bartek came, spoke to us about it. It's, all we did was agree that what they had done, their due diligence was complete. That's all that was.
Yeah, it didn't officially accept it. The public hearing is not our public hearing.
It's theirs,
So
housing
that's-
department.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Resolution 51 of 2023, approving the MOA between the city of Kingston and CSEA Local 1000, ASFCNE, AFL-CIO, element of P, Kingston City Unit 8951, Ulster County Local 856, KPFA, and KPVA bargaining units regarding one-time premium payment to employees who worked during the COVID-19 pandemic.
51, 52, 53.
Are they all the same? Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
MOAs.
Yeah, one's the union employees, one's management, and one is,
One person.
the one person.
Do we know what the amount was? Or,
I think, wasn't like, police and fire was 300.
just curious, I mean, I don't need to find it, it was just curious, it's just not on here. Okay, so, moving to resolution 54 of 2023, requesting bonding authorization in the sum of $1,500,000 for the Uptown DRI Transportation Project, right? And then the next one, that's the one from
That's the
John
one from
Toohey.
John here.
John Schultz.
John Schultz. And then the next one is the bond ordinance, which will require a roll call. Resolution 56, authorizing the execution of a revised payment in lieu of tax agreement by and among the city of Kingston and Birchwood Village Housing Development Fund Company. That's out of finance.
Yeah,
This is
So it was revised because
it went into new
new
ownership.
ownership. Yeah.
We're actually gonna
Okay,
get
so-
an increase in payments.
because of that?
Yes, it's
Yes.
definitely a better deal.
They agreed to a payment scale. Some more improvements in the previous owner,
Okay, nice.
or the previous ownership, right?
All right. Resolution 57, 2023, authorizing the transfer of a portion of lands of the city of Kingston to C Deli.
When this come out?
That was out of laws and rules.
Yeah, this, from what I remember, this was like, it was such a small portion
Small portion, yeah.
of property lines and,
That's what-
fence.
That's what we have
The
parking lot?
municipal parking
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there's a new owner, so in order for them to close, they need to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get this.
I don't even think it had a impact on taxes. It was like a
Still
So
small.
small, it's just like this little sliver coming down.
All right, resolution 58, authorizing the mayor to enter, well, let's save that one. We gonna skip that one. We almost thought. Resolution 59 of 2023, directing the city of Kingston Planning Department to cause a deed description of the paper street known as Jarvis Street. That was out of laws and rules.
Yeah,
They're
that's-
just basically putting a Schedule A together.
Yeah, there's basically a street that technically exists on paper, but it's someone's like, parking lot right now. So we're just basically,
There's a
Give it-
very
yeah.
specific, yeah, there's a very specific process. This isn't doing anything except like Michelle's constituents want to purchase the street. So there's, in our charter, it lines up like a super specific step process. And this is the first one for the common council to direct the planning department to cause a deed description. And then we'll just keep going through that process.
And it's not a real street, it's like a
Right,
paper street, like
paper
it doesn't go through because it's like outcropping.
Okay.
I have a
trees.
the legislation list is wrong, the correct item is posted, it's handicap parking, so not that, whatever number that was, 44.
44 is off.
44, yeah, 44 is just,
Is the
is
handicap.
an old
not
one,
that.
yeah, so does that mean all the numbers are one off?
Yeah, I think she got to change the numbers.
Oh,
I'm checking that now, Andrea.
thank you.
Okay,
It's like she read my mind.
all right. So the next three are out of laws and rules, and us, there we're amending the common council rules. Andrea, you want to just tell us what those rules were?
Sure, I don't remember which one I didn't bring them as a to be a little bit more clear, but, so I didn't write my notes, which ones, this may be in a different order, are resolutions of,
No.
No, there's.
Say it again.
then this may or may not be in the order, but one of the rules, oh my gosh, I'm going completely blank.
Well, let me see.
Was to allow the clerk to fix any, basically typos. Because you know how there've been some situations where we have to go through the whole process of government process to go through committee just to change a 0 to a 2 for a typo. So we amended that, or one of these is amending that rule, and it would have my approval to it. So it'd have 2 eyes watching that, as would be decided in laws and rules. Was the one change? What were?
Hold on.
I just found,
These-
so I'm looking. I just found it.
Sorry, these are
That's
all.
fair. Yeah.
That's what I'm scrolling through now.
Like I had it. Or some probably.
It was an old business.
With old business. I just don't want to mess it up. Sorry about this. Yeah, so rule, this resolution 62 is the one that I just talked about. If the typographical or stenographic errors made on a resolution, the city clerk can make this correction without resubmitting it as a communication to the common council. We added to this language with approval of the council president.
Okay.
Not resolution 60 is committee reports must receive a motion, a second, and a majority vote. Oh, this is an old one. This is my original. This isn't what we amended. Oh, because
I
this is-
pulled it up from.
Yeah, so I
laws
could
and
just,
rules,
yeah. So we actually changed this, after, there was some discussion about how, after the redistricting, because it, you know, we had the one that had the majority and one that had the minority vote, so we had 2 of them. So there was discussion with council members about why if it doesn't have a majority vote, is it moving forward? And the answer was just tradition, because we didn't have anything codified in our rules or any place. So I had suggested this only because I had heard from a few council members that they would want what I wrote there, but after discussion with the committee, it was decided that we would want them to still pass through, even if it does have a minority vote. It would just say, it just clarifies it in the rules.
You mean like a negative committee?
Yeah, it would just,
report? Okay,
yeah, it
okay.
would just say it's negative, a negative, report.
The basis of that, not saying if it was Andrea, but theoretically, the council president could pick and say, all right, I want you on this committee, knowing that, you know, and if they said, okay, I know you like me, you like me, you look like me, I'm gonna put you in this committee, and then I want you to kill this bill.
Okay.
So it's basically a stop
Okay.
favoritism.
You know, just to keep everything as fair as
Checks
possible.
and balances.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen too often, but there's, you know, it passes out or has a negative declaration, 2 to 3. I mean, it can still pass with the rest of the council members. So,
And the idea also too was if it did not pass out, the person that, on the committee that didn't want to pass out, they could come and maybe a caucus or whatever, and try to explain their case, plead their case.
yeah, so we decided that this was
Yeah.
the best approach.
Like what I did.
We were looking at what happened in Albany, yeah, basically, where they didn't pass out a committee, and then it was the big controversy that it should have went to the floor for a vote on the judgeship.
So this just like makes it super clear on what our process is. It was all based on tradition.
Right.
We don't want that. And yet the last one, which is resolution 61, is just clarifying. So again, it's clarifying the local law reading. So this won't change what we typically do. 1 reading, 1 month, and the second reading the next, followed by the vote. But this says a local law must have a first reading and second reading, followed by a rule, because none of that is in our rules. The first and second readings must occur during a common council meeting, and there must be at least 1 week between the readings. This way, because there's been a couple of times where we needed, the timeline was reduced, and we needed to see, we couldn't wait that 1 month, but we also don't want it to be where we could go one night into the next night, because there's a reason why we have this, so that
Right.
there's consideration. So this is the week, although we will still follow our, like, the local law here, we'll still follow first reading tomorrow night, second reading next month. But if we need to, we could reduce that. It's just the 1 week.
Fine.
Just making everything a little bit more clear in our rules.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Michelle.
Everybody good? Hi, Rennie.
Good evening, sorry, late.
It's okay. You are.
I handle finance.
Time.
What's that?
Said I handle finance.
Michael held it down for you. Resolution 63, and just so you know, we decided to save resolution 58 until the end.
Okay, thank you.
So 63 is out of public safety.
Speed regulations, yeah, this is lowering the speed, yeah, that's from the mayor, wanting to lower the speed and limits, not only around schools, and then we see that for childcare centers as well, but they would have to,
They had to have a curb.
they have to,
They had to apply.
They would have to apply to get this, to be able to, and justify getting the speed limit, and, you know, daycare, or something like that in the area. But it's some steps, it's some things that they're requiring, and I forgot, and exactly off the top of the head, Pat.
What those requirements?
Crosswalk, right? And it would have to be, it goes through city engineer, and we did, one
We
of
don't,
the things,
yeah,
one of the things we did ask is just to keep, you know, if it's in your ward, if it's in Ward 4, to make sure that.
John, so by city engineer, this lets you know that this is going
It's
to
okay.
happen. Yeah, because we're not gonna have it say this is gonna go to the engineer, and he or she would make the decision. But just to keep us, whoever all the person is, to let them know that in this ward you have now reduced speed in this area.
Right.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Yeah.
I wasn't here that night because
Mhm.
tonight isn't a practice.
Mhm.
Can't show the public safety. Will this also apply to like in-home childcare centers that like operate out of a home?
It can apply to it, but they still have to meet the requirements.
It's not
Okay.
Yeah.
Like to apply?
Uh-huh.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but they can.
Yes.
It's not-
And how do they find out about this?
Oh, I think, didn't he said that was gonna be on the city website, and, because it wasn't a question we brought up, how's people gonna know
I
it?
think it was, yes.
We asked before, what happens for people to find out, and what happens after it like, it gets the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
I thought he said there was gonna be something on the city website. Did you say that?
For the public or the child or the?
That just in general public, like there'd be a link where you can apply for that.
Okay,
And
but you
then-
can also contact the Ulster County Child Care Council, because they have a list of all of the places in the city.
Okay. Everybody good on that one?
Yep,
All right, and then the first reading of local law number 4, 2023, and that was amending section 172 of the city code to bring it into compliance with the minimum standards for administration and enforcement of the uniform and energy codes, section 19, and you'll see our part 12. Great. All right. Okay, so we're going to move back to resolution 58.
If you want to do the update mortgage on the session, or if you want to be, it's just my regular update, and then
Yeah,
you want
let's
to do that now?
let's do that now, yeah.
Okay, I'll be quick. So just, and if anybody has any liaison.
Yeah, wasn't that supposed to start today?
Yeah.
All right. I do.
Oh,
one,
Do you guys want to do
No,
that
you go,
first? How do you want to work
Go
it?
ahead.
Me? Okay, so we had the first zoning deep dive session last week, and
Big guy.
And it went really well, so for those not in attendance, I encourage you to watch what we discussed. I spoke with Bartek afterwards, and he's working on putting together a plan
Okay.
that we talked about, so we're gonna get percentage of that soon. We do have two next week, on Tuesday the 14th, that's gonna be the housing. And then on Thursday the 16th, it's gonna be enforcement, implication and enforcement.
14th.
So really, really important, because this is something that's gonna affect every single one of us and all our constituents. So really important to make those meetings, both at 6:30, right in chambers. So thanks for the folks who were able to make that one. We do have a special finance meeting, Wednesday, March 29th. That's just for
Yeah.
the end of the year budget. There's a lot of budget transfers. So, but we need to get it for April's meeting. It just wasn't this is the month that we, not gonna be ready for this week, but we need to pass it by April for all of the budgets. This Wednesday finance, it's 7 PM, not 6:30, because there's an event here in Chambers. Sorry about that, completely out of my control. I found that out here. Finance is 7 PM tomorrow,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, thank you, because there is an event hosted by the Oakland Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, women's, and something to do with Women's Month.
Yeah, it's Women's Month, International Women's Day.
We're all part of the chambers, if we didn't know that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, and we saw, Tony and I ran into Jess Davis and we are
Yeah.
invited.
So we're all part of, the city of Kingston is part of the chambers. And so
Oh.
we're allowed to go to those functions that it's just never really been pushed, like. But, since this one is here, and.
Free food.
And that's
Wednesday.
Wednesday
And then
at
that one starts at 5.
5 to 7.
Yeah.
5 to 7.
So it'd be the chambers and it's going downstairs or something, I think.
Yeah.
Talking about women.
I think it's a mixer, but they're
It's a mix of
celebrating.
it, celebrating Women's Month.
Okay.
Yep, and then, we had our first ethics code advisory committee, which was basically just planning things, Carl and I, on that with, Charlotte and Mike from the ethics board and Matt from Port Council, and it went well, and I'll keep you informed as we go. Basically, it was just formulating a plan. There's not really anything to tell you right now, but we'll keep you up to date, and then, the public too, we're planning on doing some public hearings and just really making sure that, everybody's aware of the steps that we're taking. Carl is doing the award for this month, and he chose Amanda and Anthony from Road Drafts. Yep, so that's exciting, well deserved, so nice choice. And then on Sunday is our St. Patty's Day Parade, the City of Kingston St. Patty's Day Parade. Typically, we walk in it. You don't have to. I hear it's supposed to snow. Rain, so I don't know the times, but I'll send you an email if you want to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even have a banner, so everybody's like, who are those people?
Has been discussed in the
And
past.
Bill Kerry really was pushing
Yeah,
for
with
the
Jim
banner,
Knowles.
yeah.
This is my last run.
Isn't it in our budget?
You guys might want to.
It costs like $35. It's really.
This
We can get
represents.
$4 a piece.
Like, who are those people walking?
That's all I have, so I don't know, you wanna go into liaison?
Oh, I mean, for me, because I wanted to make sure I was up on this and get in trouble. Today was the fire department liaison, and we had interviews for lieutenants and position and captain's positions, and so it's chosen. It's gonna be a new lieutenant and a new captain appointed. I can't say that right now because they might not have gotten the phone calls yet. And so that also, that we approved buy 2 vehicles some time ago, the last budget. So they have received those 2 SUVs, and it's gonna be the new car 1 and car 3. And so that's gonna be used, and then they're gonna reuse and car 1. The current car 1, car 3 for something else. And so that's the fire. Police department, I met on Zoom, but it was basically more in closed door session, I should say, and they were going over some disciplinary things or whatever, so there's not much really to report on.
Do you go into those or?
I do, that this one, it was some
No.
communication thing with, by the time I received it, so I didn't get in. And, but that was the gist of it, was really behind closed doors and, it was some issues.
I'm telling you, are you still liaison for the police commission?
That was the one I was just talking about.
That's what
police
you were just
commission.
talking
Yes, on fire and police, yes.
Okay,
Fire, police, I didn't really have much to say because like I said, they went behind closed doors and it was, internal stuff. And
Right,
so I can't
right.
even talk about that.
Okay.
So that was it. That was for me.
Yeah, so if you're reporting on a liaison thing, and it's, attorney-client session, don't report it. Thank you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
In session.
I'm liaison for Page, I already. But because of the times, I haven't been able to get there, but I had a phone conversation with Ben O'Shea on Friday. And I know the people were asking if Stuyvesant Charter had started with the work, and he said that they were in phase 1 and they're going one plot at a time to update it, and people are having to get moved out. But it takes about 6 weeks to 2 months for the construction to get completed. There will be a ribbon cutting in May with some people from Albany coming down, and the council will be invited to that. There's some other news, but I won't announce it, 'cause, that's my place.
Moving out, that's a good sign.
So
They're
they're having, they're like updating one pod and moving people in 8 apartments at a time
where are they going while they're?
into another, like, from what I understand, a renovated pod.
Okay, so they're not being moved.
They're
out.
not leaving the property.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
I thought that was the thing, they said they were gonna do in-unit
I know.
renovations.
It wasn't possible, they said.
Meaning they'd be still there. and-
Yeah, I mean, that's what they said, yeah, is like they would, for example, if they were redoing the bathroom, they would shut off the water, they would do whatever they had to do, but they assured us that by the end of the day, they would be able to go back in.
Right. Yeah, and then there had been an RFQ issued for some of the other properties, so they are doing another deal, development. They got answers to the RFQ and scored them, and they chose to go with Mountco. So they're looking into doing updates at Colonial Gardens extension, and then Rondout Gardens. So they're just in the developmental stage of that.
Great. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I go to the Kingston Local Development Corp meetings, which are often canceled. And not a lot on their agenda, but I think the mayor was presenting on his main initiatives. And I didn't really go to that, 'cause I feel like I'm up to speed, but good people on it. I go to the Live Well Kingston group. Sometimes what catches my interest, as it has lately, is the Complete Streets group, and with their bicycle and pedestrian safety initiative they're doing. And they had a training the other night. I came for some of it before going up to rezoning, and I need to look at the tape because I think some of that will relate to and is related to our zoning, the rezoning and, our streets and all that, those kinds of issues. So I'd like to try to stay on top of that. Good people in that group too, very thorough.
Thank you, Barbara. Anybody else?
I'll chime in briefly about Climate Smart, which I've been going to, and I didn't take notes because I wasn't planning on presenting, so I'm just sort of speaking from memory here. And what I remember specifically is we have a grant to go zero emission here, and I think in Eddie Murphy Center. And Julie framed this as This is the demonstration project for NYSERDA. So there's a lot riding on us getting it right, and it's complicated, and funds are generous, but also limited in terms of the scope of the project. So I think the city is feeling under good pressure, but real pressure to really have to deliver the goods. There are a lot of unanswered technical issues that they have to work through. So this is a big deal. We were chosen because of our track record in sustainability, and we are sort of going to be offered by the state for bragging rights if we do pull it off. So there's a lot of pressure on us to do it. The other thing is that, as anybody with electric car knows, type 2 chargers are around and available, like the ones here, but the ones that really charge a car fast are called DC, direct connect fast charge. We don't have any in the city at this point, and there are discussions around about bringing in a fast charger, which would be made available to the community generally. The conversation at the time was, where should we put this? And I would say that I chimed in there and said it has to be uptown, not should, it really needs to be, because that will pull people off the thruway and bring business to uptown. People, I speak from experience, people would not drive to right downtown to recharge, but they would drive a mile off the thruway. And so this is like prime territory to draw in traffic to support uptown businesses, and very much hope that the decision will ultimately be made to bring a fast charger, or ideally multiple fast chargers.
Now, the gas station by the traffic circle, they're not fast.
Not yet.
Oh, the
Great.
Teslas. Yeah.
Oh, they're only Teslas.
I guess, yeah.
My friend just struggled with this. They had to drive down the thruway to find a fast
It
charger.
can get hairy. I mean, I've been there, sweated bullets.
So quick check, this has for tests, regular, or.
Yeah, they're different connectors, right? But I would just want to say, I think that the committee and as a city, we are just doing a rocking job in sustainability. And I think the last meeting just confirmed that impression.
Awesome. Good, Steve, and then we'll go to Michael, come back to Barbara.
Go ahead, Steve.
Actually, I had to miss the Recreation Commission meeting due to some medical reasons, but I kept caught up with a couple of people, and I did find a couple of the items. Something new, if anybody is familiar, and I know Tony is, with the Biddy League program, usually at the end of the basketball season, there's a big banquet. They decided to change the format. It's not going to be a spaghetti dinner like it has been for the past 50 years. They're going to have kind of like a sports Saturday where you can sign up for athletic events. There's going to be food there. You can bring your family. It's going to be more of a hands-on thing rather than the kids just sitting collecting their trophy and having spaghetti and meatballs.
Saturday for the fast days.
Yeah, but this should be pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, free throw contests and dribbling, games of skill. So it should be fun. I don't know if anybody saw the playground down at Hasbro Park is being resurfaced with a new rubber surface. So that's nice. We also discussed every year there is a volunteer recognition award for the recreation department. So that's underway right now, getting candidates and picking a date for the award. So that was done. I think it sounded like a pretty short meeting.
Nice, thank you. And with Parks and Rec, also I've been talking to Lindsay, we're trying to get some lighting up at the Van Buren Street, little parklet up there. But everything costs, so I've actually been on the phone with Michelle Hitchie's office, and she's going to get us some monies.
Oh,
We're just waiting for estimates from Lindsay.
that's great.
Did we have lights there at one time?
We may have, but we need them there
Yeah,
now.
so that's what we did. It's quite a lot.
Mhm, Yep. Michael?
Yeah,
Thank you, Steve.
so DPW, I'm the liaison for them. And this last storm, I'm actually proud to admit it because it can cause havoc. They issued over 70 tickets for people not parking where they're supposed to, and they gave out over 400 warnings just in this last storm alone.
Really?
So, we just really need to continue to get the word out that alternate side parking is important because
Yeah, and we need more snow so you can get more money.
Exactly.
Well, 400 warnings is.
Yeah, 400 warnings.
It doesn't, wasn't it around like 200 tickets, like, from that big storm too?
Yeah, and
Like,
it
it feels like it's
usually
not
is like
going
the
down.
first
Yeah.
one is
But
major,
number,
like
yeah.
this size or, yeah.
Mhm.
And then they go significantly down, but both storms have the same numbers. So,
And this past one wasn't
Even
emergency.
just, yeah.
It
No,
was less than 3 inches, because people call me, what's Simon? So I reached out to them, because there wasn't nothing on the website. I'm like,
yeah, I wish it would have
and
been.
then Steve says, no, it's less than 3 inches. I was like, okay.
Because the clouds went around the forest. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, because they can't do it any other
Right.
way, so it took them a lot longer to,
Mhm.
wow.
Thank you, Michael.
Rennie?
I'm sorry, let me get
Oh,
Rennie.
sorry.
Yeah, the main one is the tree commission has met to look closely at the impending zoning changes. Had a good meeting, I got a lot of notes from them for, when we talked about that.
Okay, so I am the liaison for the HLPC and HAC. I have not made the meetings, but they are very, very good with giving me notes. And I have all of the notes here, and so I will not go through all these, but if anyone would like a copy of them, I'll be glad to send them to you. Okay. Barbara.
I think Carl and I both got an email regarding Central Hudson doing retrenching and the gas lines, but this time it's like Main between Green and Clinton. It's all the cut-through streets that people may have in Uptown. Like Green, it's, as you know, can be very messy. So all of our constituents travel around there. I don't know exactly when they're starting. I was kind of like,
When did you get that,
this morning.
Oh, yeah.
They tell you this morning and they're,
So Central just coming up in your area now.
well, it was in my area for half a year.
Okay.
And now they're gonna do Uptown. And they just told us this morning, and I saw them at 5 o'clock coming, the presentation was tonight. So anyhow, I just wanted to tell you in case, you yourself and others it's gonna be,
I know the contact with Central Hudson was very quick to respond to like constituent concerns or complaints or anything like that. Like I'm only speaking for me and my ward, but
yeah.
I mean, people had their grumblings about it, but
Yeah.
overall, it was a pretty smooth process and they were willing to work with anybody, even from my old job, there was someone where we needed to pick up and
Yeah.
of course, it was right in front of their house where the hole was and they would put the steel plate down every single time we needed
Yeah. I had
to do
it.
anything, so.
Yeah, I had to do it over and over, but it went on many months more than what they estimated. So, but the streets are narrower in there, so it's gonna be hard to have, they had at least some Lucas they could, you could go by. So I'm just saying that it's happening and.
You should see if they used to send like every Sunday, like an update of what their work plan was for the week when they were doing.
Yeah, in my area, we're doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long
Yeah.
that lasted.
It doesn't
It
update
was the
as
whole-
fast as you want
Whole
though.
season for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, once like they get it going, it would come every Sunday.
Remember, they do work. I mean,
Yeah.
I had constituents because they had a porta potty at the top of the Farley and Gage Street. And people were concerned about the school was ready to start back up and that's empty porta potty's been sitting there. And I reached out to the company and they were like, we will get that moved, Alderman Davidson, like in 2 days, it was moved.
Okay.
So they, it's.
Yeah, they'll like sometimes park their equipment on a private lot and not realize it. And then call and move it.
But I agree with Michael that he's very responsive. I think his name is Ben Pompane or something like that. Yeah. So that is good. I think they have good representatives. So. Anyway.
Very good. Thank you all. Okay. Making our president happy.
Thank you.
I think the applaud this last session has been really informative.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we're doing it. So thank you for,
And I like, it wasn't just me, I heard from department heads too, that they felt like there needed to be more meetings. It's not just me being a tyrant.
We get stars on his forehead. Stars.
I will bring lollipops next time, and that was so good.
Okay, all right, so we're moving on to resolution 58, 2023, authorizing the mayor to enter into a regulatory agreement with Village Property Co. LLC and Kingston Workforce Housing Development Fund Corporation. We have Dan Baker here, our assessor. We have one of the property owners as well. Will here. And so there has been some discussion about this. I'm sure you all have some questions. And this is the time to do it. And this, for any questions at all, are we going into?
Well, does anybody want to ask Will any questions, since he won't be in session to go in session, so if anybody has questions for Will, that would probably be.
So just, I think everybody got my email from earlier.
Yes.
The council can invite anyone into an executive session. But if there are questions that fall into the attorney-client sort of sphere, then you can step out.
So I think that we should go into executive session and invite Dan Baker and what's your last name? Brocker?
Yep.
Into that session. Yeah,
So we need a motion for
that's a
that?
motion.
Is that your
yes.
motion?
Second.
Second, all in favor? of doing
Aye.
that? All right, let's do that. Okay, so Andrew's gonna turn off or mute us Can we make it wait before we go back? Make a motion to go back out.
All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, so we are, back live, back on the record, if you will. And we have finished our resolution list. And so we just need to have a motion to adjourn. All right, we will see you all tomorrow.
Like your son.
All right, good night, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we can turn it off?
Yeah.
Good night, Elisa.
Good night.